Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at a relatively complicated agent, Jarvis. So Jarvis can do a plethora of things. As you can see here, Jarvis is switched by a Telegram trigger. He can get voice files, he can get text files, as well as image files. So he can actually see, he can hear, and you can type to him as well. And he will also talk back to you as well as send you text messages. In terms of Jarvis's tools, he has access to your entire calendar. He has access to your entire mailbox. So you can send emails off to you. And he has an internal memory record as well as a SERPA API. So he has direct access to the internet. It means that he can do a plethora of things for you. He can organize your inbox. He can craft specific calendar updates. He can even schedule meetings with you with your specific clients as long as you reference their emails. So it's very intuitive. So what I'm going to do now is just show you a very simple demo of how I use Jarvis on a daily basis. So I'll pull him up here. Here's Jarvis. Give him a nice little voice and everything. So what I can do is say, Jarvis, can you go ahead and summarize my emails for me in a very short format, please? And we can test the workflow. We can see that he goes over and he gets the voice file automatically. He'll update his memory. He'll grab my emails and then he'll spit out a specific output. So in this case, it's my emails. So there you go. So you can see some of my emails from Marketing Manager, PayFit, and other specific things right there. So he's summarized my entire inbox for today so quickly within a matter of seconds. And he's also sent me quite a nice little voice message. So let's take a listen.
Here's what you requested, sir. In the world of emails, it seems we're dealing with everything from leave requests to billing disputes. Just another day in paradise, wouldn't you agree?
So I've coded his personality to act like Jarvis from Tony Stark. Well, how I've done that is I've added a basic LLM chain. Essentially what that does is that basically gives him a personality. So in this case, he's Jarvis, a quick-witted AI assistant from Iron Man with a refined British accent, a calm and confident demeanor, and has a dry and understated humor when responding to specific queries. So it just gives a bit of personalization to the overall thing. But essentially, what can Jarvis do for you? So Jarvis can do a plethora of things. One of the things that he can do is reference images. So I'm going to go ahead and show you an example here. I'm going to find an image of something online. You can do this on your phone, just through Telegram, or you can do it on the desktop. Just for demonstration purposes, though, I'm going to go ahead and show it to you on desktop. So I'm going to go ahead and upload a photo here. I'm going to just see what you can see. So in the caption for Jarvis, I'm going to go ahead and say, what am I looking at here? Just to show you the capabilities of his eyes, that he can actually see what he's looking at. So I'm going to go ahead and test the workflow. You can see that it routes the image to the AI image analyzer, it formats it in a specific format, then it goes ahead and updates its memory and then gives me an output. So in this case, what you're looking at is a laptop, most likely a MacBook, so that's correct. Displaying code editor with programming the code visible on screen. The computer is placed in a modern desk environment or workspace. That's very, very cool. So he can see, or it can see, if you take photos of it alongside a caption. So that's such a very, very good tool, particularly when it comes to things like specified problems, or you want to know what the specific thing is. You can always go ahead and just take a photo, send it to Jarvis, and Jarvis will be able to search up on the internet and tell you. So he's also sent me a nice little voice message here.
Ah, a classic scene of modern ingenuity, sir. It seems you're hard at work crafting the digital future.
So you can see his dry wit coming in there as well, which is quite cool. But essentially, it's all done through a main trigger node. So as you can see here, the file gets formatted. In this case, it's the JPEG file via the Telegram trigger. Now that is done by accessing an additional field in the Telegram trigger, which is download images and files. Now, if you go into the switch, it's a bit more complicated. We have multiple switching routes here for Jarvis. So we can see that he has access to a file document, which I'm building for future use. So you can upload files to Jarvis and he can help you out with them. Let's say you have a legal document you want to get analyzed. You can do that as well. The image here is a JSON.message.photo. So you can analyze that. And if it's not empty, it routes it to the image section. For the voice section, same thing. If there's a voice file, it'll route it to the voice section. And for the text file, it's JSON.message.text. That's the simplistic one. Once it routes it, let's say for an image, it'll go ahead and grab what it's actually looking at and analyze it based off of the OpenAI image analyzer here that we've added in. So we just connect up a credential. In this case, we'll just connect up a credential utilizing an API key from Playground on OpenAI. And then we can go ahead and add a text input, which is JSON message.caption. So what it's looking here is it's not only looking for the image itself, but it's also looking for the context for that image. So it works when you give the image a piece of context saying, what am I looking at? Or can you explain this to me? Or whatever your query is, right? And then what it'll do is it'll input that data in a simple output. So in this case, the content of it, which is the laptop that we just took a look at. From there, it formats it into a specific string. So in this case, it's just formatting it into the question for the agent here. So in this case, we have a little bit of code here, which was just generated by ChatGPT, and inputted it into this to make it into JavaScript. So essentially what it does is it says, please answer the user's question. What am I looking at here? And then with the image description that it's given us from the analyzer. So now it'll go into the main head of Jarvis. And in here, you can see the message coming in here. And what it's doing is it's taking both the message, even though it's not a text, so it disregards that. Going into his internal prompting, you can see he has a plethora of tools that he can use, right? So he has tone and mannerisms, he has email management, calendar management, response format, task management, web and information queries, calendar queries, calculation, memory and context, and response and structure. So it's relatively detailed, but essentially what it will do is it'll always give you a concise output, and it'll try to use the correct tool. So in this case, we have a lot of different tools here. So you need to specify with this main query, which is the actual brains behind the overall agent here, what tool to use and then what to actually give for an output. So here's the input section. It's all this, and this is the output section. And then below, these are all the tools that they can use. So that's a very easy way to look at it. But essentially, moving on from the basic LLM chain, it goes ahead and it basically turns it into what Jarvis will say to us. So this is now his personality, or Jarvis's personality. It goes ahead and sends that personalized text back to us in just a message with his which is just a simple Telegram trigger here. In this case, it's just the result with the JSON output. You're looking at this, blah, blah, blah. And from here, you can see that it translates it, or it uses 11 Labs, which is an existing thing that I've been utilizing in a lot of my projects, which is 11 Labs, because they have fantastic voices that you can choose from and personalize with. So you can see here, it's a text-to-speech HTTP node request. Now, simple as just getting your API key from 11 Labs, hooking it up here in a custom auth. In this case, the custom auth is hidden for you guys, so you can't see exactly what my API key for 11 Labs is, but you can go ahead and create a new credential here. And essentially, you'll just put in your JSON string, which is basically your API key in a JSON format. Now, for the URL, we're utilizing API11labs.io, text-to-speech, and then the actual ID for the voice. Now, if you go to 11 Labs here, you can see that there's a plethora of voices to use. So when you like one, let's say you like this specific one, you can go ahead and copy the ID down below here. So I'll show you. You can go ahead and copy the voice ID right here. So you can see there's the ID. So when you pick a specific one, let's say Nathaniel.
Easygoing and real, this voice feels like a chat with an old friend.
So if you want Nathaniel, we go ahead and click Nathaniel, which is down here. And we can see his ID is right there. So we can just check like that.
Just as the sailor.
We can view him. And then from there, you can see their ID right there. Now you're going to take this specific ID, you're going to go back into n8n, and you're going to replace this text string with whatever voice that you want to use. This adds a level of customization to all of your agents. You can just choose what voice you want, and you can plug and play. It's very, very simple, as long as you understand the overall integration for getting an HTTP request. Now, from here, it's going to stringify the overall text, and it's going to go ahead and give us this output. So it's summarizing a specific text. So in this case, Jarvis has gotten, a classic scene from modern ingenuity, sir. Seems like you're hard at work. So essentially, this is what it's grabbing, and it's turning from text to voice. One thing I want to note here for people experiencing issues on trying to get their their 11 Labs voice up and running is that a lot of people don't realize you need to add your voices to your library for it to function. Because I've had this issue in the past where I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on and why it's not functioning. And how you do that is just by simply clicking this section right here where it says add to my voices. You need to click this so it's in your library. If not, your API key will not know what you're talking about, even if you have the correct ID in place. This will save you hours of time when troubleshooting specific issues, or at least it has for me. Anyways, once that HTTP request is done, it'll go ahead and send a message output. In this case, it's just grabbing the Telegram trigger here, and it's giving us an output ID with that file. Now that file is a binary file. Doesn't have to be, but in our case it is because it's easier and quicker. And then from there, we need to give it a file name. So in this case, we've just given it Jarvis. So it always comes up on our end as Jarvis right there. So you can see Jarvis MP3. That's a simple layout of how it functions. There are a plethora of other tools you can add here, including Airtable. So one of the tools that I have added here is the contacts, tasks, and create contacts section, which means that Jarvis essentially has a memory. So the more you talk to it, the more you engage with Jarvis or your specific assistant, the more it'll understand and the more it'll get to know you better, the faster it can do specific tasks for you. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and say, Jarvis, I want you to just to remember that Harry's email is harry@solvent.life, okay? So in this case, it's going to go in, grab my voice file, and it's going to go ahead and memorize that and add it to its memory. So understood, Harry's email is harry@solvent.life. I need to go a step further and say, can you go ahead and add that to my contacts, please? So now Jarvis needs to understand and have a memory context of what we were just talking about. Now it's creating the contact here in my Airtable, and then it's saving it. Which means that when I want to send an email to Harry@solvent.life, I just need to say send an email to Harry. It knows the specific email that it's utilizing to send off any information. So you don't have to specify anymore. You say it once, it doesn't forget, and then you can go ahead and streamline your workflow process from there. So I've done this with email replies. As you can see, we have a reply tool here as well. So anytime anyone sends me a specific email, I'll just reply to them by saying, Jarvis, reply to that email saying, yes, please, thank you, let's have more information, or no thanks, I'm fine. So it really streamlines your overall specific tasks when you're doing so. Additionally, the calendar, it's very, very, very useful. I mean, I've used this on a daily basis. When I want to create a meeting with someone, now I only use Jarvis. That's how easy it is to do. So let's say I want to create a meeting with Harry. By the way, it needs to understand who Harry is, what his email is, and then when I want to actually set the actual calendar. So what I want to do is, let's say I want a meeting with Harry at 6 p.m. today. So Jarvis, can you go ahead and create a meeting in my calendar with Harry today at 6 p.m.? You know what his email is, right? So now Jarvis is going in, it's thinking, it's grabbing the contacts. And it's double checking with me here. So just to confirm, it's telling me first. To confirm, I'll create a meeting with Harry in your calendar today. So it's using the email harry@solvent.life. So it had to refer back to his memory and say that, right, Harry's email is harry@solvent.life. And now from there, it's asking me again, do you want to create this meeting? So it's super simple, super easy, and it just saves me a bunch of time when trying to craft things, right? For meetings or for schedules with my team. So in this case, I'll go ahead and say, yep, let's go ahead and do that. Let's create that meeting. So now Harry's going to go and say, right, I've gotten the okay. Let's go ahead and create an event with an attendee as well. With an attendee. That's crazy. So it sent an email off to Harry stating that we have a meeting at 6 p.m. And let's go ahead and see. We can see that your meeting has been successfully created. Today, March 4th, 6 to 7, London time. Harry, status confirmed. You can view the meeting here, all with a hyperlink as well. So if we go ahead and open this, we can see that our meeting is right there. Look at that. All nicely organized. And it's also added Harry in the meeting as well. Now let's say I don't want to do that meeting anymore. So let's say actually Harry decided he can't do it. Actually, Jarvis, we're gonna have to go ahead and cancel that meeting because Harry can't do it. So just delete the event, please. And there you go. The meeting with Harry has been successfully canceled and removed from your calendar. Pretty damn quick. So it's so useful. Now look, at the moment, this is in a test version, right? So it's inactive, which means that I need to clicking test workflow, which is this button down here every time I want to use Jarvis. But as soon as I want to activate him, I can just go ahead and make him active right here in n8n. So I just save him. I go ahead and click this button right there. Well, one second. Once I resolve this issue. Jarvis, we functioning okay? Everything working fine? Yeah, okay. So Jarvis is working fine. Everything's working perfectly. So in that case, we'll give him a save. We'll turn him on. And there you go. Now he's activated. The workflow is activated. I don't have to keep clicking test workflow again and again and again. Now I can just grab my phone anytime I want and ask Jarvis anything I need to get done for me on the go, in the office, wherever I need to go. It's just fantastic tools that we can make nowadays with these types of tech. Now, if you want tools like this to be made for your business as well, I do have a website down below for Solvent Industries where we make custom agents for specific businesses. And if you want a tool like this integrated into your business, just click the description down below, book a meeting with me, and we can discuss what your budget is or what you think you'd like for your automation for your businesses, and we'll see if we can help you with your overall problem. Now, as we move on, though, tools like this are going to get more and more complicated and more intuitive. And there will be a time very near in the future where we'll see agents like this taking over real roles in the world, right? So we're going to see assistants are no longer be a thing because these ones can work 24/7. They never have to sleep. They never have to take a day off, and they're always there for you, essentially. And they will be crafted for specific use cases. I've made agents for financial analysts. I've made agents for assistants. I've made agents simply just for managing my email inbox. So I never have to take a second look at it, and it automatically will reply with specific information based off of my current programming. So you'll see that in future, it's going to continuously get more and more optimized, and it's exciting times. So anyways, that was Jarvis, my little bot here, and he's getting really complicated here. We'll make him a bit more seamless in future, but for now, this is what he looks like. And let me know if you want to see more information like this in the next video, and how to build him from scratch.